Hey, everybody, it is Liz Lander, and I'm so sorry about last night's show. I did it, but it didn't go out anywhere. And then when it did go out on Facebook, I lost the audio. So I just took it down. So I'm going to give just a brief synopsis of the topic, which is perhaps all it really needs. So, what I was talking about last night is I was talking about the Hall of Mirrors. And you might think and wonder, what does that have to do with psychology, counseling? Well, it has a lot to do with it. The Hall of Mirrors analogy that I'm using is to give you an idea of how all the things, all the people, relationships, events that are surrounding you in your life. So if you imagine you're sort of standing in the middle of a field and around you are mirrors. And like when you were a kid and you went to the carnival and you walked into the Hall of Mirrors, it creates an illusion that's confusing where you don't really know what's truth, what's reality, what's what, because all of the different mirrors are reflecting off one another. And it's kind of an eerie feeling, which is why it's fun to go into them. So I'm using this analogy for our lives. And imagine yourself standing in the middle of a room or a field or a forest or wherever you want to picture yourself with mirrors all around you. It's just everywhere you turn, there's a mirror. And that mirror is reflecting something back to you that might look a little bit different than what you're seeing from one mirror to the next, and different from where you understand that you actually are. And this is how our life actually operates. While it's confusing and somewhat illusory to a degree, it's illusory because it's all our perception and our interpretation of everything that's going on around us. So every circumstance in our lives, every relationship in our lives, every event or exchange with another person, be it positive or negative, is reflecting back to us where we are in our lives. What is our point of attraction, or what is our position in our lives? So if you find that when you're looking around these mirrors, you're seeing all these different aspects of yourself, and each aspect of yourself represents a person, an event, an exchange, circumstances. Everything around you in your life is just that. It's a reflection of where you are standing in your life. So if you're not happy and you're not satisfied, or content with the people, places, things, events happening to you that feel as though they're happening to you, remember, you're the one that's creating the relationship and the interpretation with each one of those things. And what each one of those things, each one of those mirrors representing people, places, and things and events is reflecting something back to you about you. It's showing you how you're seeing things. It's showing you where you're standing in your life, how you are behaving and interacting with everything around you. And that's why I say life really is like a hall of mirrors. And just like you could say beauty is in the eye of the beholder, or art is in the eye of the beholder, because, it may be interpreted differently by one person to another, depending on their perception of things. This is actually how we interpret our lives. And once we understand and recognize that, we can start using the positive and especially the negative things that are happening, or situations that are present in our lives, as a jumping point to really take a step back and reflect inward and think about what all of this is showing you as a human being. So again, to make a kind of a complicated analogy clear, no pun intended, because we're looking in the mirror. If you imagine that every person, place, and thing, and event, circumstance, emotion is a mirror, and you are in the hallway of mirrors, which is your life, your perception of life. What are all these things reflecting back to you? Are they reflecting back to you that you're in a really good place and you're peaceful and firing on all cylinders for where you would like to be? Is it showing you that you have some patterns that you may want to identify and switch up and intervene? Is it showing you that your relationships are, in order or not? And at the end of the day, no matter what your answer is to any of these questions, it all comes back to you from the mirror of your life. It comes back to you. And no matter what's happening, whether it's good or bad, you are learning from that reflection. Quick example, if I have let's say a disagreement with somebody, I can very simply and easily, and typically humans, we will say, wow, that person really hurt my feelings, or really, pissed me off. And how could they do that? Or how could they say that? Or I can't believe it. That's a typical response when we're upset or aggravated by somebody. But we could also say, wow, what is this reflecting back inside of me? I'm feeling really upset about this. And it's showing me that I'm very, I have a pattern of being very stubborn or very unwilling to own my end of what's happening in this circumstance, or that I have some issues maybe from my past about feeling important or feeling heard, et cetera, et cetera. And these are kind of the fun things that when we're doing therapy, like with the hall in the mirror theory, that we can start to analyze and really look at in your life, and you can really, really grow from this. So it's a very interesting, exciting, and uplifting way to look at yourself through the hall of mirrors. And if you'd like to learn more about this, I would love to be the one to take you through this in a counseling setting, virtual, in person, whatever you like, because it is life-changing and it is very uplifting. So that's what the show was about last night when I lost my audio. Next week, hopefully I'll have things worked out, and I hope that you find this video helpful and interesting. And until next time, I'm Liz Lander.